I've been listening to Barry, you know, since I turned professional, and I've been just like a sponge soaking up all the information. I listen, and obviously he's got so much knowledge, and he's been in the game for such a long time. I just need to take it all in, and his son Shane as well, who's younger than me, which is a strange sort of combination for the coach to be younger than the fighter. But Shane is an amazing trainer, and you'll see here later on in the pause just how good he is. But to be getting the information from both guys, it's been great, and I feel like it's benefited me.
Ireland's Carl Frampton challenges WBA Featherweight World Champion Leo Santa Cruz. That's Saturday, July 30th. This is the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. It'll be broadcast on SHOWTIME Championship Boxing. And returning to the ring is Malignaggi, who will be facing Brooklyn veteran Gabriel Bracero.
I'm excited to fight in New York. Obviously, there's a big Irish community out here, and a lot of boxing fans in New York. It's always been, you know, people talk about boxing in Vegas, and Vegas being kind of the mecca of boxing. I believe it's New York. I believe it's here. I'm more excited about fighting in New York than it would be if I was fighting in Vegas.
What happened with Rigodo? What happened?
Well, that's a good fight. It's a tough fight. You know, I believe that Rigo is the king of the super bantamweight division. I honestly believe that. That's me being honest. But you know, people talk to me about fighting these people. If your manager or a guy you work for gives you a tougher job for less money, you're not going to take it. And the money's just not there. He doesn't have the right team behind him to offer the big bucks. And that's me being honest. You know, I get 3-4 times the money to fight Santa Cruz. And that's the bottom line. You know, I have a young family to look after. This is a tough game. I want to live comfortably after boxing. I want my family to live comfortably, and that's a simple answer, really.
How unique?
Yeah, it's a hard fight. You know, I train very hard all the time. I train very, very hard all the time. So it's no different with Santa Cruz. I haven't done no less, no more, just the same. But I train hard for every opponent, but it's going to be a tough fight. Santa Cruz is a very good fighter, but I'm up for it. Yeah, I believe that making 122 was kind of, it was hurting me a little bit. You know, I'm a big puncher, and I can punch hard when I'm in the gym up around 130, 128. But when I get down to 122, I think I lose a little bit. And 126 now, I'm going to be punching harder. I'm going to bring some power with me up the weight, and I think Santa Cruz is going to feel it.
Can you stop him? Is that your game?
I think so. I believe that. You know, he's never lost. He's never been stopped. He's never looked like being stopped before. But I don't believe that he's been hit by someone that can punch as hard as me yet. And we're going to see on the night. That's the plan. You know, you know, the main thing is to win. But I believe I've got the power to knock him out. I think so. I think we'll bring about 1,500 probably from Belfast and Dublin and the UK as well. So I always sell a lot of tickets when I'm back home. But obviously it's going to be a bit of a harder sell in New York. But I believe we'll bring about 1,500, and hoping the Irish Americans are going to get behind me as well out here, and it'll make for a very good atmosphere.
Your manager's legacy has been known as a peacekeeper. Could you tell me what you would like your legacy to be?
I just want to be remembered as someone who was a fighter who could fight, and that's it. You know, people 30 years on since Barry won the world title, people still talk about it. If you know, in 30 years' time, if people are still talking about me, I'll be very happy. But I want a legacy. I want people to remember me as a great fighter. That's what I want.
On Facebook, they're all talking about you from Ireland.
Yeah. No, I'm from. You know, I'm a Belfast man. I'm from Ireland. I'm from Northern Ireland, whatever you want to say. But I'm very proud to be an Irishman, to be a Northern Irishman, and again, I'm hoping that the guys all come out and support me, and the Irish Americans get behind me. I feel like I'll be much stronger at 126 than 122. It was getting to 122. I wasn't enjoying boxing, doing it. It was hard. The last couple of weeks before a weigh-in was always hard. And I think that at 126 I'm just a bit more comfortable, and it's not taking as much out of my body, and I believe that I'm going to be stronger for it, physically stronger. I believe that I'm going to bring a little bit more power as well, and that's what I'll need against Santa Cruz. He's a great fighter, but I'll need to be on my game to beat him. Yeah, I think that's me at featherweight now. Once I've done it and I'm enjoying boxing again, it's going to be hard for someone to persuade me to go back down to super bantamweight. I'm enjoying it too much now, so I think I'm a featherweight now. That's it.
And how special is this fighting for your managers, Tito? I mean, you're going to be in the US for a long time before the fight.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything different from other fights? I mean, are you super extra motivated for this?
Yeah, well, it's a big fight. I'm motivated for all fights. The fight, my last fight with Scott Quigg wasn't such a big fight here in the States, but in the UK and Ireland it was a huge fight, and I was obviously motivated. But these are the fights that kind of put you on the world stage. Guys like Santa Cruz, and the American public are the people that know boxing, and you want them to sit up and start talking about you and take notice of you. I believe I beat Santa Cruz. That pushes you close to kind of top 10 pound for pound in the world, and I feel like I deserve to be there. And it's a tough fight, don't get me wrong, but I believe that on the night, if I put in the best card Frampton turns up, then I'll win the fight.
Have you done anything different for this fight?
Just come into America a little bit sooner, that's all. We always try and get sparring partners to replicate the opponent, and we've done that this time. We've got some good sparring in, some big guys making me work hard, they're pushing me around, and that's what you need. That's what you need when you're in against tough opposition, and Santa Cruz is certainly that.
Carl, fighting in New York and just fighting in the US, how important is that for your career to develop your name and your brand?
Yeah, I without being big-headed or anything, I'm a big enough name in Belfast and Ireland. People know me in the UK as well, obviously, especially boxing fans, but it's important to be recognised in the States. This is where the big fights can be made, and this is where all the great fighters end up fighting, and I want to be remembered as a great fighter. I want to be remembered as someone who's came to America and who's beaten guys and great champions like Leo Santa Cruz. I want people to talk about me when I'm an old man and remember all these nights fondly.
You want to face some of the other guys at featherweight? It's a very deep division. Jerry Russell,
yeah,
and Maris, and maybe Lomachenko these days. There,
yeah.
Hearing those names, is that like obviously great competition?
Yeah, all these guys. I want to be involved in big fights from here on in for the rest of my career. I'm 29 years old now. I don't want to be boxing much more than 33, 34, if I'm being honest. I probably got a good 10 or 12 fights left in me. But I want them all to be big fights. Selby's a fight that's appealing to me. Obviously being a Welshman and being back home, that could be pretty big. But them all, Lomachenko, Gary Russell's a great fighter. There's so many good champions at featherweight and big fights to be made.
Your nickname, the Jackal, how did you get that?
The Jackal, I was looking for a nickname at the start of my career, and I used to get called Carlos. My nickname in school was Carlos, so Carlos the Jackal, the film, The Day of the Jackal, obviously, and yeah, Carlos the Jackal, bit of a bad boy, and someone just suggested it, and it kind of stuck, and I think it's a good nickname.
You lived up to it, too.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't seem too hard by Santa Cruz. A lot of other guys, when they're discussing them, almost sound a little weary, a little apprehensive, but you don't seem to have any of that.
Look, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. But I believe that I'm as good, if not better, than him. And on the night, I'm here to win this fight. I'm not just here to turn up. They wanted us to go to LA to do a press conference with Santa Cruz. he wouldn't come to New York, so I'm not going to LA. I'm not here as a tourist. I'm here. I'm taking this serious. I'm here to win. It's going to be a tough fight, but I'm going to win this fight. I really believe it.
That's true. Like they were trying to get him to LA, but then he wouldn't come to New York for a press conference.
They wanted to get me to go to LA, and he wouldn't come to New York. So I've already traveled halfway across the world. I'm not going to travel another 5-hour flight to get a photograph of Leo Santa Cruz if he isn't going to come to New York where the fight is. This is where the fight is. So if he wants a photograph, come to New York. This is where I am. And that's it.
Like now, he's supposed to be here for today.
I'm not sure what the thing is, but I think we were meant to hook up both of us before, but it hasn't happened, and we weren't given in. You know, we're not Egypts, as they say back home, and I wasn't going to go if he wasn't coming here.
You ever run into Andy Lee? I went over to Limerick City when he was supposed to fight that fight with Billy Joe Saunders, and it didn't happen, and of course he lost when he went to the UK.
I love Andy. Andy was kind of, when I was on the Irish High Performance team as an amateur, Andy was kind of one of the more established guys on the team, and I was a young kid coming in. Andy was quite young himself, but he was a name back then, and he kind of took the young guys under his wing. So I know Andy quite well. He's a real nice guy, and I see him from time to time.
Do you know if he's get ball for McElroy at all?
Yeah, apparently he's coming to the fight. Yeah, he says he is. He's playing in New York that weekend. So I suppose it depends how he's doing in the tournament. You know, if he's leading, he may not want a night out on the Saturday before the final day. But who knows? I would love him to get here. You know, we send each other messages on Twitter every now and again. And he's obviously a big name, not just back home, but all over the world. So
what would that mean, him being at your fight?
He's great, really would. Obviously, he's a huge sports star, and he's given me a lot of support. And likewise, you know, I've given him a lot of support too. So I'd love him to be there. I really would. I think he'd show up.
Have you gone to any of your previous fights?
He's never been. He's never had the chance because of just training and having to do other things. So he's never had the chance, but. It just worked out that he's in New York the weekend and I'm here, so hopefully he can make it.
Floyd Mayweather era of boxing, undefeated records are so important. How do you feel about, possibly being the first guy to take away his O, and how important is it for you to keep yours?
It's very important. I think it's a lot's made of undefeated records, more so than it should be these days, and that's what's causing some of the best fights not to happen and materialize, because people want to keep their own and they want easy fights. So it's important to win. Obviously, it's important to stay undefeated. I would love to finish my career as an undefeated champion. That would be the dream, but it's going to be tough. But I want to be involved in big fights now, and this isn't an easy fight. People can't say I'm dodging anyone because I'm moving up a weight division to fight a champion at featherweight. So these are big fights. I'm excited.
What does it do for your legacy to be the first loss, to be his first win?
It's huge. He's a huge name, Santa Cruz. He's been backed by Al Heyman, and likewise I'm being backed now by Heyman and PBC, and Santa Cruz is one of the big names. So it's going to be huge for me, and this is kind of one that creates a legacy, and people talk about you. This will be talked about for a long time. I put this off, which I think I will. People will talk about this for a very long time.
Sports books have you as the underdog. Does that book a fire in your belly, or?
Yeah, the last time I was an underdog going into a fight was the Irish Championships as an amateur, and you could have got me at 11-2. I was a massive underdog, and I went out and dropped the guy and gave him a standing count and won quite comfortably in the end. So the last time I was an underdog, a lot of people that know me made a lot of money, so it's going to be the same this time.
Who do you think is going to have the bigger turnout as far as fan base?
I think I will. I think that we're bringing a lot from back home, and hopefully all the Irish Americans get behind me. And I'm here in Bklyn as well. Hopefully the Bklyn natives get behind me and come out and show their support and appreciation. And I think I'll have more support than Santa Cruz. Even if I don't, even if it's quite similar or he has more, my fans will make a lot more noise.
Can I get you to say a shout out to your fans?
Yeah, just thanks everyone. Hopefully you tune in on Showtime on the 30th of July. It's going to be an exciting fight, one not to be missed, and thanks for supporting me.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Gleason's Gym here in Brooklyn, New York. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the fights.